Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in. Check out your boy, P Funk. Thinking right out here in the lab, in the book, doing what I do for you. I got a nice lesson for you today. You always say that, and I always do. You know how we do. Let's go. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. I give life lessons. You tune in to receive them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline practice daily will help and guide, you to higher spiritual level of enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. You see where we're going with this? Let's get that together. And you know, I asked the question, do you know you? You will when I'm through. That's what I do. A person who knows not, see, it's rhetorical. You don't have to answer, tune in, I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not, foolish, disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not, simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believes and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers know thyself. And to my yacht, be true. This lesson, right thinkers, is called the royal path to becoming one with God, aka know thyself. This is a story about a king by the name of Unas. He was a pharaoh. And we got his story from his grave, aka Book of the Dead. So he laid out everything he did. And this is a good lesson. This is from the pyramid text. So this is one of my favorites. All right, let's go. This is a bunch of information for you to be you. This is all about you. Okay, understand? This is all educational for you to get information that you can use to help you know you. This starts with the royal path. The king, the pharaoh, okay, is the symbol of what? A perfected human being. One who lives Mayat, practices Mayat, master Mayat, know thyself. That's who they represent in the flesh. That's what we as common folk. Now, the ancients thought that knowledge was only for the rich, for the pharaohs or the king. Everybody who brought knowledge to the peasants that they call them, the masses we call them now, got in trouble. Said that. Okay. So they wanted to keep the knowledge hidden. They still do. They still play the game with us today. I got a whole bunch of information about the symbolism that they still play. They got it from us. Once they understood it, they turned it on everybody. They're doing it to this day. There's no lesson. But okay. But the idea was the symbol of a perfect human being. And these are things that you need to make that happen. This is the lesson. And one who has, watch this, achieved. So got calm down. Achieve Haruhood. Y'all call it Christ conscious. We were doing this thousands of years before the idea of Christ even came up. Okay, understand that. So don't get upset. I'm just giving you information that I know you don't have. So I am enlightening you to something that you don't know. Don't discredit it. Don't disprove it. Just understand and give it a shot. Be open-minded. That's all. Now, the following segment I'm about to get to you is from the ancient Egyptian pyramid text of King Unas, spelled U-N-A-S. And this is going to provide a description or prescription that you can follow and use for the royal path, what they call yoga. The word Unas also means existence and consciousness. So they let you know that he's wanting to be conscious of his existence. He want to know himself. And by doing that, you become one with God. That's the lesson that you have to get involved in. Purifying yourself, Unas, Open thy mouth by means of what? Reach and harvest hood, the eye of Haru. All right, here, right there, big as day, okay? And watch this. You invoke your Ka. It says, excuse me, thy Ka. Remember, thy is the concept for God. Know thyself. You and God are one. That's thyself, okay? It's a play on words, but I'm trying to get you to understand it. Now, purifying yourself. Open thy mouth, okay? By means of opening the eye of Haru, invoking your thy Ka, which is who? Asar. Okay? Asar, that he may protect you, what? From all wrath of the dead. Remember, Asar is king of the dead, the afterlife. Okay? So he looks out for you. And who is that? Your father. Don't the father always ingratiate the son? Not just one. No. We're all his son. Masons, your father is Asar. You Haru. They don't tell you that part. That's all higher level stuff. The gentlemen don't even get to that, but yeah, I'm surpassed all that nonsense. Go. But it's information symbolically to teach and understand. But they use it for the not the more noble and glorious purpose. They use it to hoodwink, trick, and enslave the ignorant. How about that? Moving on. Sorry about that. I had to get that out of the way. Because they're smarter, they got the understanding, and they play you. I hate that. They have seen Unas appearing as a what? Soul, which is his body. As a what? Netter, who lives what? Upon and within with his fathers, and feels upon within with him his mothers. It is Unas, master of wisdom. When you learn, you implement, you practice, you master. That's the name of the game. Self-mastery with what? Self-knowledge. Calm down. I get excited, sorry. But the king who has accumulated, right there, he's a king. He had to accumulate wisdom, okay? And now seen as a what? Netter, God, or a universal God principle that's in nature. He has expanded his what? Consciousness. Through what? Righteous, virtue, and wisdom. Maya, all those are qualities that Maya teach you. Okay, all those are self qualities that you can master. Or everyone in those aspects have a God that you can emulate and learn. They give you images so you can practice that concept. Okay, these are all elements and philosophical concepts that you can master what? With knowing philosophically how to use it. The Kas, right there, the Ka is of Unas are behind him. His virtues are before him. What you mean? His netters are upon him. His urea are on the crown of his head. He's enlightened. He's conscious of who he is. He knows himself in the flesh. That's what makes us, what's the Akus? What? Enlightened beings. Beings who know themselves. We walk the earth amongst all the ignorant, and we above them in what? Knowledge and understanding. That don't make you better than them. I'm teaching you how to get where I am. Why? It's nice. Try it. I'm trying to help you to get there. I got knowledge. I know myself. That nonsense. I'm trying to help you. That's what I do. That's what it's intended for. Knowledge should be shared. Once you accumulate it, once you get it, master it, now you share it. Watch this. Now, where we at? Now, Unas, Kas, or his previous incarnation. Your Ka is the previous life that they've been going through. It's always going to be there. He don't go nowhere until what? You get enlightened. Watch this. And his incarnations are what? Now behind him. Once you become enlightened, that death and recycle, that ain't part of your game no more. You're going that way, okay? And his netters, godly forces. My man Lucas made it real simple, the force. God, the spirit, they call it the force. Watch this. So your godly forces are upon you. All you got to do is recognize them and use them. Practice, hone your skills, and then use the force. When you're blessed, when you do the right thing for that right action, you get blessed for that. That's the force, according to George Lucas and Star Wars, and y'all ate it up. Same thing, same philosophy. He just put a little twist to it, put a little twinkle, and made it something other than religious. If they thought that was a religious movie, nobody would go, blah, 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 blah. But they learned something about the force. Moving on. And only his virtues, which he has lived and developed, are with him. When the physical body goes, everything else stays around. Your conscience and your actions or your deeds, depending how good they were on the feather of Mayat, you find out at that judgment, and everybody has to go through that. So you're responsible. I'm not responsible for you. I wasn't responsible for him. Ain't responsible for my son. Responsible for me. That's important. And his urea, which is his third eye opening, his horuhood, his third eye faculty has been developed. Once you get intervision, once you see yourself who you are, the world is going to be different now. Because you see things the way they are, and you ain't blind, you ain't brainwashed for the nonsense, and you ain't going for the okie doke or the banana in your tailpipe nonsense no more. That's why I don't practice religions. Moving on. I know better. That's all. The game is the game. Those who play the game, what? How you going to win? If you ain't mastered the game, you'll never win. So being a player don't mean jack. Okay? He was a king, and he had to do what he had to do. Watch this. Unas is lived in what? Within the becoming of what? Every netter. He mastered every aspect of his character, which I've been trying to explain to you. That's how it's done. He's breaking it down just like I'm trying to, but he's making it real simple. Watch this. Existing on what? Their works. Every aspect of your character, when you implement it and use it, you will be the beneficiary of that. Watch this. And when they come with their bodies and it's full of magic through what? Through the actions of what? The celestial fire that burns within all of us, that spirit, that fire. Once the heart and the mind come together, that's what they call the marriage, the sacred marriage. Now you becoming one with your higher self while in the flesh. Christ-like. Okay, y'all like Jesus, so I'll give you that. Y'all think the world started with Jesus? No. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. It is Unas, watch this, who will give judgment. Wait a minute, excuse me. Unas, watch this, sorry, I missed the phrase. Unas is in harmony with who? His netters, himself. So he is acquiring what? Their supernatural powers. I get excited. Unas is now in what? Communion with all his netters, a.k.a. God, and everything that comes with him. They become one. Shu, Tough, New, everybody, they're all one. That's what they're trying to explain to you. And watch this. It is Unas who will give what? Judgment. Together with he whose name is what? Is hidden. Amun. On that day of sacrificing the elder one. What they mean by sacrificing the elder, you got to give something up. To go there, you got to give this up. If you in love with this body, you ain't never going to get there. Why? You're going to keep recycling. Why? Because you're going to keep coming back. Simple. You don't want no more. So you satisfied with this? Some people comfortable with their ignorance. That's what I'm saying. I know that. But now, Unas will what? Unas will now be conscious, what? With God. That's becoming one with God. You do that through daily meditation. When you becoming conscious of God, you got God with you all the time. I don't never leave God. No, I'm doing everything with God. I ain't trying to get around God. I'm trying to get away from him either. Moving on. He whose name is hidden. Again, you see the netter. And that name is Amun. We know that. Amun means hidden, the hidden one. God, first acronym, the first part of him is hidden. Ra, Sin, Pata, physical and flesh. That's the Trinity of God. We know that, and we explain it real simple. Watch this. Now, he know that the hidden netter, Amun, where? Is within him. When he sacrifices what? His former ego self. That's the elder one, your lower self. Get this up. Why? Trust me, nature took care of that. Why you think you have erectile dysfunction after 50 years? That's nature's call. Let you know, it ain't all about below the waist. They got the little blue pill now, so now that don't make a difference how old I am. I'm going to do my thing. If that's what you live for, there's some consequences that come with that. The pleasures, yeah, but there's some consequences. I'll leave it there. But you have to kill off your lower self, a.k.a. the ego. In your bodily senses. It ain't all the physical. It ain't all physical. When we spiritual beings, it ain't physical. We're in the physical body. It makes us human, but it ain't all about the pleasing the body. That's what the ego wants. And the idea of himself, the ego, as an individual personality, me, I, that's the ego. We all have that, and it's fine. But that shouldn't be the criteria. That's not who you really are. That's lower you. The higher you is the real you. That's Haru. Now, in order to achieve this perfection, to get to Haru and identification with the divine, what you have to do, you must cut, aka sacrifice, all your attachments so that the body, your spirit, will now be interested in joining once again with who? It's earthly Ka, the spirit, for another incarnation. If the spirit don't get enlightened, it's looking for another body to continue searching for that, what they call happiness, in all the wrong places. They should be searching for themselves. And watch this. Unas has appeared again, nowhere in heaven. He is crowned as Lord of the horizon. He has reckoned up the dorsal vertebrae, that serpent that's in him, my girl, the serpent power in him. By doing that, watch this. He woke up the serpent power of the spirit cord, or the spinal cord, that's there, but we just don't know it, but it's there. Now, he sees possession of what they call the Hades of the netters. What's that? He has sustained on himself on the red crown, that's Lower Egypt. He has swallowed the green one, that's Asar, when he's in the green, meaning agricultural part, the green him. And Unas feeds himself on what? You ready? The union, the conjunction that makes for the sages. He is satisfied, aka Hotep, with with living on the Hades until their magic powers, and using their magic powers in his everyday life. When you know the gods, you know yourself, and you can live on them. Unas had developed his vital, aka Shekhem, Kundalini, serpent power, serpentine, fire of life. Those are in the chi and prana. All those are names for the spirit, okay? Having control over it. Along with your astral channels, the Kundalini, the 7 chakra system, with your spine, you see the judgment of the heart. I did that lesson. I'm going to wrap that up. I love that judgment day concept. We can break it down. But Unas had acquired all those possessions of the Hades, and they call it energy. Really, it's the energy force, okay? Acquiring the nature of forces. That is derived from the heart and the lung complex. When you see your higher lower self set in Haru tying up, that's them knowing they in one body. And the lungs got 2 sides, separate sides. The brain got 2 hemispheres. They understood that. But they all breathe the same thing. That's why they got the trachea with the 2 lungs connection. You see that sign, that's what that's representing. See, everything they did was symbolic. You just need to know how to read the symbol. That's all. I'm a Mason. I know what all the symbols mean. If you're a Mason, it's foreign to you. I don't speak but one language, so every other language to me is foreign. Understand that. But it's a lung complex. They're just breaking it down for you. And breathing rhythmically is part of meditation. And the deeply with concentration. When you're breathing right, the mind is clear. On the energy centers, they will start to rise up. And Unas now is sustained and nourished in his human nature with red crown, the life force, and he lives on the principles. Right there. I stand on principles. Simple as that. I could care less about a belief system. I have principles that I stand on. Moving on. So I don't have that. No principle. Simple. And watch this. Of who? The netters. The green one. The goddess joy, thanks to which he now will become a sage or a saint, meaning he's enlightened, he's liberated, he's born again, saved, and he will return to his place of origin with God. We all live to do that. All religion tells you that. All you got to do is practice it and follow it, and that's just what they do. They ain't lying, okay? But if you don't follow it, then that's on you. You can't say they're wrong. I would never say what someone else is doing or believe is wrong. I keep telling you, got 2 men. He believe in God, he don't, and they both right. You can't knock what somebody believes. That's freedom to be. exist. Your thoughts are yours. Nobody should be able to control them but you. But if you are ignorant, that means you need to what? Get information. We're in the what? Information age. And all this information that they bargain y'all with, all of it ain't good. Your discernment got to kick in. And they know most of y'all, what? 85% of the masses is what? Ignorant. So if they pay y'all for suckers. Get back to the lesson. Let me wrap this up. I see the clock. Now, where we at? Okay. When this life is over, your goal is to go home. Home is what? With God. Heaven, whatever you want to call it. But there's all theological concepts, and it's fine. But as a human, you should have purpose and reason for yourself. Obtain self-knowledge. Live and do what you need to be doing. And when this is over, yourself will go back to its higher self. That's the name of the game. So however you slice that pie, whatever you do with it, don't make a difference to me. I got my slice. I understand. I'm serving that to you daily. Now, the signature of Unas do not weaken in his hand, for what? He has swallowed the wisdom of every god. He knows himself. He's full of himself. Whatever you want to call it. But that's what you need in this world, okay? Why? To live righteous and do what you're supposed to do, you got to become one with God. Unas is unwavering, right there. Possession of his powers, nature, and belief in what he is but God. And he has assimilated the knowledge of every netter. He mastered every aspect of himself. Unas is what? Liberated. From what? From humanity that is in his limb, the physical body. Unas has risen to heaven mentally. He consciously leaving the earth behind, far from what? His wife, in his rank in society. Unas have now become what? One with God. These are all things that if you can philosophically understand, you don't get caught, he thinks he God, all that nonsense. But you better remember, I believe in God. With a bunch of stories that don't do nothing but lead you down the path of what? More confusion. Sorry, but I had to get that out. Unos is now free from his human nature and his worldly ideas about a job, marital status, social positions. Why? He's risen above all that. He's better than all that. It's all there. He still got to deal with it on a day-to-day basis. I do all the time. But I already know. Me and my mother-in-law talking, she said, I can tell you, I ain't scared to die. I said, guess what? I can tell you too. Neither am I. He was scared to death of death. Death don't scare me. What? I know who I am. He is above all of these. And when you get knowledge of self, that's the same thing you would be. Got to calm myself down. Okay, I'm wrapping it up. I see the clock. Now, even if he continues to live, and I do, amongst the living, and we are, discharging his duties, and I do daily, as the king. I ain't the king, but I'm here to take care of my followers, and I do my job every day. That's my job, okay? And he is not living in his what? Ordinary mind. I'm in the highest state of mind now. Okay, I'm in heaven. My mindset is up here, not down here. That's why your spirit is symbolized by what? The falcon, the eagle, the bird that fly high, fast as anything. That's your spirit. It can't be beat conceptually. That's why they use it, okay? And they didn't just pick animals. We want an animal. No, that animal's gift that God gave it. We emulate in that. That's what you're trying to understand. And that's all can be manipulated or implemented and used to your benefit. Feel the force. Use the force. What the hell is the force? God. He is now living in what? His eternal self. I love that. I love that. That's what it's all about. I'm human. I'm in the flesh. But I'm way past what this is. Okay? He is no longer in mortal body, even though he may continue to use the body as a practical reality in the world of time and space. Unos live eternally in eternity. When you and the spirit becomes one, you good. The physical body, you ain't got to bother with this, you good. I'm in the gym every day. Why? I want to stay in this physical body as long as I can. I enjoy it. I'm going to bother with that. But it ain't the end all be all. And when it's time to go, okay, bye-bye. This is clothing for your spirit. Spirit got to change clothes. That's death to the physical body. That's the clothing that he got to change. And if it's enlightened, that's the last outfit he gonna wear. Why? Because he ain't gonna get dressed no more in the physical world. I love that. I just came up with that concept. Work with me. That's called ad-libbing. All right. But it's a concept that I'm trying to get you to understand. Because I got that concept. So I'm passing it along in with the lesson I'm giving. How about that? I don't know where I was. Whoa. Okay, one with God. One is not really. Okay, and I'm understanding. Okay, you live in spiritual eternity, but you live in the physical form. That's fine. That's called sahus, spiritual beings, walking the earth, enlightened beings who know themselves. The cosmic forces. Okay, no, wait. Unas is living not unconsciously. Watch this. As most people are, just going through life. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, okay. But most people are even when they are awake. We walking awake, still sleep. Why? We ain't conscious of who we are. That's called being unconscious. But consciously, what happened? They established in his godly nature. I know who and what I am. I'm comfortable. I'm standing on what I know. That's my philosophy. That's my way of life. It ain't gonna be a religion, okay? But Unos now has what? You ready? Become godlike. And ain't never mentioned of church at their point ever. We ain't mentioned nothing about no church. This is all you. You are the temple that you got to take care and realize what you got in it while still alive. Kick it right there. You can't know nothing dead. You need to do this while alive. This is why I do what I do for you. Why I know there's the things that need to be done. Why I've done them. That's why. So let me get this lesson out the way. Okay, I get excited. Having acquired what? Self-knowledge and knowledge of every God. That's you personally. Wisdom that turns wisdom into power. Knowledge is power. No, I keep telling you, the use of the knowledge is the power. They just said it right there. That's what it means. The cosmic forces, which is God elements, that are in the universe, again, God emanations, are also operating what? Through us. Do we know that? Oh, again, no, we don't. We're ignorant. If you don't know something, and somebody try to enlighten you, don't discredit or try to disprove it. Why? You don't know. You took that other nonsense at face value. Excuse me. But yeah, some things you can trust. And then what? Put it to the test. That's all you got to do. Watch this. Now, the cosmic forces that are in the universe is also operating in us as God. You can't make it no simple. But now, to discover and master these is to study and what? Know thyself. Through what? The process of yoga. Daily practice of a philosophy or dogma, y'all call it. But the daily practice of it and to get better till you can have mastery over it, that's knowing thyself and you'll get to God. So I'm about to get hoarse. Excuse me. Sorry. It's cold now. Oh, that's terrible. All right, excuse me. But the cosmic forces is what God. But now the Osar path of life. This is telling you about life, his. And we all pretty much go through different situations, but it's all the same. Watch this. Death. The Osirian path of life, death and resurrection, aka reincarnation. That's following the commandments. Virtue and judgment is the path of what? Nature. Which works in accordance with who? With the nature laws as set up by who? God. Through what? The netters. And the direct path of Unas is reserved for who? Only those whose calling it is to what? Attain salvation. While what? Still alive. Hence becoming a sage, a saint, Buddha, Christ, anointed one. All these are names for people who have been what? Spiritually enlightened. Call it what you want, but they all did the same thing. And we all remember them because of what they did. Okay? Initiates, my right thinkers, are admonished to what? Turn away from the path of Asar. Why? Because it is still full of pain and may require, you ready? Millions of years to grow in consciousness that way, meaning trial and error. You're going to keep doing things until eventually you've done pretty much everything. And it's been about 1 million years. That's what they're saying, lifetimes. For eternity, our physical Time and space means nothing. Absolute, not a damn thing. Understand that? That's why this is temporary. Everybody, this has been going on for the longest. Where the spirit goes after this life is what's eternal, unless it's coming back to here again. Again, that's the concept. Moving on. But the formula from the hieroglyphic, and that's what it was, formula, and show you what to do. Medjunetta, writings from God. God is giving you the message how to get to him. Why? Because he separated himself from us because how we was. So in order to be with him again, it's going to be a certain way, his way. That's all, conceptually again. And what's this? The formula from the hieroglyphics for achieving enlightenment. That's the purpose. And it is found, the Bible, to teach you about God. It's found in what? The Egyptian book of coming forth by day, a.k.a. our Bible. And we even had pyramid texts. The handwritings on the wall, the pyramid text. That's what they tell you. In Unas, those are his writings. Calm down. Now, from the hieroglyphics, on the page 184, we receive the following instructions. Pay attention. I'm wrapping it up with this. God, the universal Ba, spirit, gives humans their individual Ba. So they what? May have the experience with spiritual beings having we're spiritual beings come here to have a human experience and to what? Grow where? In consciousness, in wisdom, and achieve what? Immortality, to know thyself. You ain't getting there no other way. Why? That's what reincarnation is for. Okay? If you don't achieve that, you'll be back here again. I said that was it. I got one more. Unas, you have not gone as a dead person. You have gone as one living. What? To sit upon the throne with a saw. That's the judgment day scene. That's the lesson. I'll be back with some more, but I'm right there. That's a good place to stop and drop my pen, because the whole concept of you to what? Unite with God. Our God is Osiris. Why? In the underworld. That's where he waits for the people who die in this world. So to become one with him, becoming one with God. Same concept. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you understood it. Put it to use. Practice it. And find out for yourself. Know thyself is the name of the game. That's the lesson right there in closing. May you all live to be 100, 100 minus a day. But you know, like Una said, we never pass away. We go the right way. That's my lesson. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll be right back.